So I was just watching a video by Vanessa Aldrich, who is a teacher, an artist, a creative person who teaches other people how to be creative or to let go of the shame around pursuing their creative endeavors. I'm kind of like right in the middle of it, and I got this um feeling like a spark, like I want to make a video now. um I want to read a poem first. I was like, I'm really just gonna read whatever, any poem. But I thought I would read from Octavia Butler's Parable of Talents on page 1, chapter 1, from Earthseed, the Books of the Living. Darkness gives shape to the light. As light shapes the darkness, death gives shape to life. As life shapes death, the universe and God share this wholeness, each defining the other. God gives shape to the universe, as the universe shapes God. So I'm just gonna leave that there. I think Octavia Butler, one of the most phenomenal, and has written some of the most seminal works, literally predicting the future of like empires, decline, and ecological collapse, and sort of community leaning on one another. But I think what I really want to talk about is how spirituality and creativity are something that I experience, and actually employing that balance in my life is something that I fixate on a lot more than I actually perform and do. And I think that this is an issue that I see with a lot of artists and a lot of creative people, and something that Vanessa Aldrich, who I was just talking about, I see this sort of like gap between people, and myself included, having an idea and the friction and the fear of the idea being not successful or being a humiliation is way too common. And then it restricts you from all of the potential. And I don't know a lot about Christianity, but I know that people talk about God in the sense that, like, the world that we are moving through and encompassing with one another is made whole when we do creative things, when we pursue things creatively. And I think video is that. I think video is a form of that. And very gravely, unfortunately, a lot of artists are Luddites and do not like social media or marketing or the concept of using platforms owned by billionaires and tech feudalists who are, the same people that are, destroying the planet and our communities. And that sort of sucks balls in a way because that's like how we connect with each other. And people argue and talk about how it's like become its own class. Like being online has become its sort of own class. So I wanted to I wanted to show some of my sketches because it's been a while since I've even like considered doing anything like this. And I already made one video actually, but I watched it back and I was just really afraid. And I could tell that I was afraid. And maybe that's gonna translate here as I'm talking right now. Even. Um, so fuck it. We're just gonna go in. This is my sketchbook from like when I was in high school, but then I continued to use it into I want to say like maybe like 2 years ago. I'm trying to figure out what position we're gonna get best here. I like the light behind, but I also don't think that that's smart. Okay. This is good. Okay, we got the paintings behind me. This is perfect. Okay. We're gonna start. This is the collage that I have. I made this, I think this was last year. This is not old by any means. Clippings are, there was this like Soviet Union magazine that my mom gave me. Actually, she gave me like a good stack of them. And they were, I'm pretty sure that's what they were. And she gave them to me back in like high school. But yeah, and then I used some like National Geographic for the glass, I believe. Yeah, I just like how this one looks. I like the color scheme. It's very dreamscape to me. I was also very fascinated at the time with movement, and I still am. Sort of reminds me of Martha Rosler a little bit. Yeah. Then I have a lovely postcard from my friend Clara, which I'm not going to read because it's like a personal card. um, wow. There's a lot that okay, this starts in 2019, which is a really long time ago. And the way that I think about sharing art is I'm like, well, if I'm gonna share art, like it has to be fresh or newer piece. I don't really have opinions on why I think that's such something that's so like deeply ingrained, and I don't know if that's like common experience. But like, you want to be able to make new things and show off new things too. But some of these older pieces here. So this one is from 2019. I remember making this at my great grandmother's house. I made this whole sort of like little series and collection of like feminine figures. This is inspired by an artist whose name I am blanking on. I should see if I can figure out who that is, and if I can, then I can let you know. There's some paintings in here as well. I do want to skip, though, past high school, just a little bit. This lighting is actually a lot better. My gosh, anytime I see somebody walking by my house, I'm like, ooh. Anytime I like scared a little. Not that they're scary or anything. I just like don't expect to see somebody standing there. Oh, this is great. I think this was a photo of Debbie Harry. Lawn mowing and platform boots. And if it wasn't Debbie Harry, then it was some other trailblazer, I'm sure. These are a lot of like studies of like body types if they're gonna show up. Yeah, there you go. Kind of sort of just displaying like one type of body. There's not a lot of variety there. Oh, I was really into pastels for a while. This is called Nighttime in the Garden Magic. I feel so weird to like hold it up and like I'm like looking away, like dissociate a tad from the camera. Oh, this one's fun. This is a picture of Owen Wilson, and he's like being adorned by this like nightly fairy. I think there was like a fairy where he was. Yeah, you can even see like the imprint right there. Totally gone. Totally gone. Totally gone. This is a book that I like had used up until like grade 11, and then I abandoned it. And next year I go into my like 4th year of university. And then I had taken a gap year, so I revisited this during my gap year because, I wasn't filling out my sketchbooks, and I was like, I should probably start doing that. So I revisited it. I drew this boot, this like cowboy boot. My friend Megan draws a lot of cowboy boots. So it's very possible that I was like, I wonder if I could draw a cowboy boot too. I'm sure I could. I'm absolutely certain. I drew my favorite food, which is a shakshuka, classic, even in like the iron skillet. Yeah, really classic dish. And then this is where it gets really experimental, I think. This is actually an experiment. I think I was watching a video on YouTube, and I don't like when people do this when they're like, I watched this person say this thing online, and then I'm hypocrite because like I say that all the time. I'm like, yeah, I saw this on YouTube, and I can't tell you who it was because it's just such, fast paced. But it was like an exercise where it's like you get into like enough of a creative flow. Like you pick up a marker, you sort of just like draw whatever lines feel right. and you're not thinking about where the lines are going. You're just more concerned about getting something down and showcasing expressiveness, being expressive, just like enjoying that state. So I did that. And then they get a little more chaotic, actually. And you know how I was talking about like finding the right balance between spirituality and creativity, and Ulrich talking about how those two things are really interconnected, and they can never be separated, actually, because everything we do is pretty freaking creative. I'm not gonna like try to play philosopher or anything, but these exercises really helped me actually like get more expressive in the way that I was creating things. And I think that what was limiting a lot of my creative potential before was potentially being really worried about it coming out bad or looking not how I wanted to. I was really more concerned about the final product and not as much as about like the actual process. So this was great for kind of just starting and getting things on a page. And then I feel like my art's gotten a little more unhinged because of it, which is cringe thing to say, maybe. But then you get to make big pieces like this after. You get to be cringe, and then you get to get a little bit of reward from it. And that's beautiful. There's a lot of these like squiggly ones. I love the colors in this. There's like a lime green, a teal, blue, a violet, and then a magenta. Yeah, I really like those combined. And then it keeps going, more some experimental stuff. And then this is a piece that I did. I just think this is like, crouching by the apple tree. And it's really faint because it is colored pencil. Might not show up. Oh, sorry, I just had a couple pieces of paper fall out on me. I can show you if you want to see this, actually. This is called I Have Friends. But okay, so in grade 8, this is my face, by the way. In grade 8, it was Ronald McDonald Day or something. Like it was his birthday, and I was like, sure. So me and my friends, we went to get like some free cake at McDonald's, probably got like McFlurries or something. And I got my face painted for free to look like Ronald McDonald. This is a great story, one that I probably haven't told in a minute, but this is me as Ronald McDonald. I just said, give me the full face paint. I want it all. And I don't think I've had my face painted since, and I would probably want to do that again soon. Because that's free. It was really fun, actually. As much as it's like face painting, to look like a clown, it was fun. Some more. This is when it gets like really, like each style sort of varies. This is some more. It's like a record player. I was experimenting with fonts a little bit. This one, ballerina chain, ballerina shoelace chain. Fun. Ooh, okay. This is my version of Klimt's The Lovers, except it's not at all. I just call them The Lovers because they, well, you'll see. You'll see. So, Yeah, they're not an embrace or anything. But they're just two charcoal figures and like these huge engulfing coats. Yeah. I had found charcoal that I forgot that I had, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna whip something up. I like this guy's face is covered. This is a man in my mind. Um, I don't know why. Just ooh, okay, here's another charcoal. Try this like side profile. Sure, sure. Um, then we have these to me are like creatures, snakes, like the concept art for the Alien movies is what I'm kind of getting from that. Another like thing that I like to do to try to like make art. Like another like experiment I like to do. Which I definitely got like as a tip online is to take like watercolors or markers or something and just make whatever shapes with it. Just sort of splatter it on the page and move it around um, by just flipping the book all these ways is great because then you can just outline the shapes that you make and sometimes see a vision, sometimes it remains an abstraction, sometimes it doesn't. Um, and it helps you create layers like this. So, yeah, just starting with like one color, one shape, and then sort of building off of that. Um, I drew this like cowgirl who's wearing like pajama pants under like a mini skirt, which is really cool. And oh, I drew a butt because those are always fun. It's not gonna show, is it? Oh, too faint, too dainty. Really? Okay. And now there's gotta be at least no, that's basically it. I mean there's things like this that like just some figures, couple character drawings, movie. Um and there are the earlier works that I didn't display. Um oh yes, I forgot. There's this. Okay, I'll show the FKA Twigs one. This is FKA Twigs. Yeah. From I think it's like a audio file of Eusexua or something off YouTube, like a lyric video or just like an audio video. And then this one, I was really, really proud of this for a really long time. And I hinged on that a lot, I think. I made this piece. I was in total like emotional disarray and feeling pretty frustrated with, I guess, lack of creating things. And so it's kind of about that because that's like where I was at when I made it. Very possible. I would say for certain actually, but yeah. yeah, so I was really proud of that one. Because it also communicated a time in my life where I felt really stagnant, and I guess the only way that I really knew how to navigate that was just by making something. Um, and yeah, that's basically it.